Welcome back, people. We are here at Driveline Baseball with Elijah Boyer, the hitting coordinator for Driveline. We have been blessed to have this opportunity to tour this facility this weekend, and we are grateful to be here. We're going to interview Elijah in regards to what he does at Driveline and just talk a little bit about the game itself and what Driveline Baseball is. So we are grateful and blessed to be here. Elijah, why don't you kind of give us a little bit of background about what you do and how you do it?
All right. Yeah. So, at just Driveline specifically, or kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
okay.
Who you are, what you do for Driveline.
Yeah. So, started working here about 2 years ago. Obviously now in the hitting coordinator role, but um, just get hitters better every day. That's like step one.
Okay.
Get hitters better no matter what. Um, the way we do that is pretty unique, right? It's with the mocap lab. You get to take them through a strength assessment that's very detailed on how they're producing power. You get to really see a breakdown of their mechanics, like from top to bottom, including their bat path, how they use the ground in their swing to create that force, and mechanics in the lab. We get data with blast sensors. um, I mean, I could just kind of keep going on, but
Yeah,
but
well,
overall, getting hitters better with with some of the most advanced um, metrics in the game.
so speaking of the metrics and how this all plays into what you guys do at Driveline, can you kind of talk a little about the technology that is enforced to produce the best outcome for a hitter or guy who's training to be the best he could possibly be?
Yeah, for sure. Like guys come in with all types of problems. Some guys they don't have the bat speed, and for those who don't know, bat speed is really important for hitters. It's not everything, but it's one of those metrics that just directly correlates to how hard you hit the ball. And I think everyone who knows baseball knows when guys hit the ball hard, usually good things happen,
Yes.
right? And so one of the most common things I guess we see is guys who aren't quite producing bat speed yet. So, like three of the biggest things you'll see is either one, they're like not where they need to be in the weight room, and so that's where the weight room side plays a huge role because your body does have kind of a capacity, right?
Sure.
Like if the strength's not there yet, and we attack that. The second biggest one would be like a mechanical inefficiency, and
Okay.
that's where the lab would show it. So the lab would say, hey, you're not getting enough separation, or you're, I'll use simple terms, but like you're dumping your shoulder too early. That's really side bend. A lot of technical terms that I
Yeah.
could kind of throw out here,
Yeah, we
but
love that.
it's more so just in the lab. You get to see exactly how the body is moving through each phase of the swing, and I myself and all my colleagues been able to draw tons of correlations that end up helping guys unlock just monster seasons.
Okay.
And then I'd say the third one
Yeah.
is probably like intent. Like
Okay.
a lot of times in baseball, I know you said you played when you
We all
were
played.
yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we all
Like did your coach ever tell you to swing as hard as you can?
no.
No,
No.
it was a hey, stay inside the ball, hit it the other way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Like hit
Go
it on
with
the
the
ground.
baseball.
Yeah. And I mean that's not the worst thing. I get what coaches are trying to say there, but when you get them in here and it's like because a bat speed has a top end for what it can produce. So like the North Star is 70 miles an hour of bat speed. That produces around 100 miles an hour of exit velocity. And hitting the
Interesting.
ball 100 is good.
Yes.
And
Very
so
good.
when a guy comes in and he's topping out, like his max intent is 70, but he's like sitting around 65 or 64, something like that, then you just know that guy, his power production is a little limited. And
Okay.
so like that's where you could just start to see like, hey, how can I help this hitter the most?
Sure. So, in your eyes right now, who has the best bat speed in all of baseball?
It doesn't have to be through my eyes.
Yeah, well,
You can
just
go look on baseball savant.
truly, we can pull
I
it,
think
but
oh man,
in your mind,
in
you
my
train it,
mind,
so we would love
we
to
do
know.
train it. I mean, shoot, I think who is the top right now? I know. Obviously, some of the best.
Your opinion.
Um, I mean, Aaron Judge. It's impossible to like say that he's not having one of the best seasons ever. So
Yes.
he's converting his speed into the output probably as good as it
It's
can
the
possibly be
torpedo
done.
bats, right? It's totally the torpedo bats.
You see our did you see our thing on the torpedo bats?
No.
Oh yeah, we broke them down a little bit. It's kind of cool.
What's your thought process? Talk to that a
Yeah,
little.
I think it's super individual. Like you can't just go buy a torpedo bat offline and it work for you. Like that's just kind of not how it is. Like the MLB, they know where those guys are missing on average. They go to detailed like labs to see some similar things we do, but maybe in just like a bat fitting type of way.
Yeah.
They're not like trying to fix your mechanics. They're just trying to see the way that you move and like what path is most optimal for how they naturally move.
Okay.
So yeah, those torpedo bats they're cool. It's a concept that I think it's kind of been around a little longer than people think,
Okay.
but it's just been publicized and it was a big thing recently. But yeah, no, they're sick. It's just like trying to get the moment of inertia, the MOI, just closer to where the player can most efficiently use it. So we kind of have that with our weighted bats.
Mm-hmm.
So our weighted bats, we have 3 of them in like a speed trainer set, I'll say, and they're like 20% heavier on the end or 20% closer to the hands, and so that just can attack different things with hitters.
Interesting. So there was always a thought process growing up, by the way. It's like, oh, don't use the weighted bat to warm up because that's going to reduce bat speed. Your thoughts on that? Because I don't believe that to be true.
So like when a guy's on the on deck circle
Yeah.
and he swings a heavier
Yeah.
bat, his bat feels lighter, right?
That's the
So you swing it quicker. That would make the most sense.
It makes the most
Yeah.
sense, but sometimes it is the other way around where if you go up there and you swing a really light bat fast, that also could be good. So one way is to like trick the CNS with overload stuff so yours feels lighter, or it's to swing something light really fast and it can work that way too. So I think it's that one's a lot of personal preference. I know when I played, I loved to swing like 3 bats when I was on deck because I just wanted my
Same.
bat to feel like light as a feather.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying to get around as quickly as possible was the goal.
Yeah.
So as far as Driveline goes, this facility has been here what now? Almost. You guys have been around for 20 years. Is that
Oh
kind of the
man, yeah. I
play?
know Driveline was founded in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's when Bodie started it all. But this Arizona location, I think we had a different facility. I think it was like around 2020,
Okay.
21, somewhere in there, or maybe even 2019. I'm not 100% sure. But then we moved here around 2022, 2021-ish, I think. I don't know the exact one, but I know we've been in Arizona for like 5, 6 years now at least. And then the one in Washington's been there for a long time. And then the one in Florida just opened up. So
How
we
many
have 3.
facilities? Three?
3 facilities
Okay.
total.
Could we talk a little bit about Trajekt and the effect that this is bringing to the game currently? So if we will show this, but Trajekt is basically like an emulator for pitching in the game today, essentially, and it's a machine that produces different pitchers' motions, and then not only that, but their spin rate and all of it,
Oh
and
yeah.
speed and all everything that goes into hitting. So, can we talk a little bit about Trajekt and what Driveline brings with that technology?
Yeah, for sure. I think you described it pretty well. If you still need like help visualizing it for people listening, just imagine someone is pitching to you. The only difference is it's a computer. Like there's basically no difference,
It's
right? Like
fascinating.
right when the video times up with the arm slot, a machine shoots out the ball. Can be all different types of pitch types, and it can be located wherever. So, but yeah, the way we use it here has been awesome. We've ran some studies with it. We're currently doing some studies with it as well, and I'm sure Caitlin will talk about that more, stuff like that.
Okay.
But I know the way I use it with hitters is it's a game changer because a lot of times it's like training bat speed. We're we're pretty dialed.
Yeah.
Like that's we know we can do that. But we'd argue we're the best at doing it, right?
Okay.
And so that part of the game, like check the box, we can do that at a high level. Swing decisions though, which is just basically like guys not chasing pitches in the dirt or chasing the fastball up or swinging at the pitch they want or recognizing, spin, stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's like largely been debated and usually is like, hey, he just needs more reps. That's usually what people would say.
Okay.
That's the reps.
Right, right.
Trajekt. I mean, it's so close to game like, and especially with the way we have ours trained, which um like is also one of the best. I think she said it's the second most pitches thrown out of
Right.
any traject.
Yes.
So the machine learns off itself, and so it just keeps getting better and better, more accurate, looks more like a pitcher, all that stuff. And sorry, kind of long-winded answer.
No,
but the
that's
way we use it is to train the other skills.
what's also fascinating is yesterday we had the opportunity to be here and you guys were training MLB umpires and MILB umpires with this machine.
Yeah.
So basically, it's kind of a way for MLB and MILB umpires to come in and get an understanding of what they're looking for
Oh yeah.
before they even get to the field.
Yep.
And it was fascinating to see this process work. How often do you guys bring in that that group to do this? Is this like a consistent basis? Is this something that is new?
Yeah, I'd say it's fairly new.
Okay.
We had basically got in touch with them and then just kind of worked something out
Sure.
where they use it when they need to, mostly
Cool.
for spring training in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So kind of just handpicked times of the years, but yeah, no, we're like partnering with them in a way to where they can use it, and it's relatively new, but I think there's going to be a thing going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Angel Hernandez probably should have been here
No.
long before, long before we knew his
I will
deficiencies.
say I have a lot more respect for umpires watching that happen.
Yeah.
Because obviously you got 2 inches between a ball and a strike, obviously.
Yeah.
So for that, it's like I wouldn't be able to do that. That would be
Yeah.
impossible. To be like 97% accurate and then people are like, "Oh, you suck because you're not
Yeah,
getting 100%
exactly.
right." Like, how can you expect that on a person?
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
So-
I umpired.
Really?
Yeah, when I got done playing, I went and umpired a little bit.
Yeah?
Just like my coach at the time, he was like, hey, he's like, because he would coach a summer team with some like high school, college guys in Arkansas, and he's like, hey, I need some umpires, pay you this, and I was like, oh, that's all right. Like I'll go do it. Me and my
Yeah.
buddy do it. Getting yelled at by everybody.
Dude,
This
it's
is
thankless. It's a
dude.
thankless job.
Dude, this lady in the stands, so he's got short man syndrome. And for those you don't know, I'm like 5'7" on like my best day, and I'm just like, come on. Like,
Well, that's the beauty of baseball,
you're
though.
trying your best back there, and
Yeah.
like fans are ruthless, dude. They don't care at all. So much respect for umpires.
Yes.
They have the hardest job in the game, and
Well, dude, that's what I was
Man.
saying. I did it when I was younger. There was like a whole program where you can like go in there if you're like, a 13-year-old, you can go and like umpire like 7-year-old. I'm doing
Yeah.
softball. Just absolutely roasted by it. Like this dad ruined my day, and I was like a 12, 13-year-old, and I'm like, this is impossible. And those girls were probably throwing like 40 miles per hour, and I couldn't call it properly. So it's
yeah,
there's-
lose.
Yeah, it's like you could see it happen, like you watch it on TV, and then you're actually watching them like practice, and you're like, it's insane.
What was so fascinating was to talk to some of these guys. It's like, how do you become an umpire? It's like, well, you just go to one of our showcases for training. It's free, and then we pick from the lot who's going to be who. I'm like, is that simple?
Yeah,
And they're like, yeah. You just go to a tryout essentially, and
you gotta be good at it too, though.
yeah, you
That's
do
the
have to be
thing.
good at it, but like, who has that thought process to just totally shift their focus and be like, you know what? I'm gonna become an umpire, right? And you show
Someone with
up-
some stones.
yeah,
That,
you
like,
do have to have stones. So with that, what I thought was interesting, not only the generosity that these guys showed us, like we met them for the first time, and they're like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" But like they're training these guys, and the shit talk is beautiful
Yeah.
because it's so wonderful. The one guy, he was calling a ball like a strike,
Yeah.
right? So he was like, ball. And the MLB umpire trainer is like, stop fucking selling the ball. It was priceless, the rhetoric that was
Yeah.
going on in that booth yesterday. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So okay, in your eyes, looking at the game today and then where the game has been, hitting overall, in your mind, what is the best generation of hitters, period?
Oh man,
And I know that's a
yeah,
loaded
it is
question,
loaded.
but compared the game today, we all know about juice balls and all of that.
Yeah,
And then the juicing that was going on in the era of baseball that we grew up in, which is early 2000s. I know in my mind what I have to feel about that, but getting your opinion, I feel like.
yeah. I think either way, someone isn't going to agree with whatever
Sure,
But
yeah.
yeah, that is okay. I would say it's always going to be probably the most current generation when it because there's just so much more I think that we're able to see now with data and analytics and I think that there's probably been guys in the game before data and analytics came out that intuitively knew a lot of this stuff, and I think those guys are probably way ahead of their time. And I mean, just knowing say in what's it called, the Magnus effect of pitches and stuff like that. If you we were just on a meeting the other day, and one of our hitting or pitching coordinators in Florida, Toby Nagel, was talking about how if this guy shifted his changeup just a little more, that he would be getting way more movement, right? And you could just see that with certain types of metrics. And I think good pitching coaches back in the day probably were just like, "Hey, let's figure this out because it's not moving a lot." It can be so simple, but it could also be oh, I mean, we have all of it right in front of us.
Yeah.
It's if you use the data to your advantage and you just go attack it the old school ways, I think that's where you just couldn't you can't the pitches today are just so much 100-mile-an-hour sinkers. Fucking, they're disgusting.
They're so. This is okay. So we have this conversation kind of a lot. It's there's been a lot of pitching advantage over the years, and pitchers are better than they've ever been,
Yeah.
obviously. And then people are like, how do we make it equal for hitters, And people talk about the torpedo bats, is this going to help them? It's still waiting to see if that's going to happen, in a long-term thing in the MLB. But right now, it's how do you take advantage of a pitcher if they're like we talked about it yesterday? They have pitches that have new names every day.
Yeah.
It's dudes are doing crazy things. It's how do you get ahead of that? It's just it's an impossible science. It feels like.
Oh, that's I guess that's where it's my job.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, yeah. It's
That's what
it's a game of inches, right? Micro adjustments over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the littlest thing you could do to hopefully up it. It's just you can't blame a hitter because you see a guy from 1993 that hit 350, or he wouldn't do that today.
No, he just wouldn't.
He can't do it today.
So to answer your question directly, I think it's always the most up to date, and I think it's now, right? But yeah, I think these hitters nowadays, I think they're tasked with much harder pitching environments than before.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Why is that? So compared to prior, I mean, because Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, I mean, arguably the greatest pitchers of all time. I mean, that generation produced some of just the most monumental talent, and then not only that, how the game has evolved today.
Yeah.
So in your eyes, today is the best generation of pitching, period?
Pitching.
Well, no, let's just say hitting overall. So you're saying today's hitters best generation probably of all time, just due to the data and all the things that
Yeah,
we're
the most
talking
information,
about.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say just kind of the most information and in track.
Yeah.
Whoever today is faster than somebody 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
It always just is doing this.
Okay.
So Usain Bolt to the 1920s.
Exactly. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
right.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's I mean, I think you have to just give massive respect to prior generations.
Always.
And I think Randy Johnson would still be just fine. They'd be just fine. They'd be just fine. There's outliers from previous ones that I think would come in and still shut it down. I mean, I think there's hitters from previous generations that would come in and still hit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I just think probably overall as a whole, I just think as the game gets better, I think everybody would mostly agree that So do the players.
Yeah. Well, this is another conversation that people have. If you were to take like a good hitter now and put him in like 1930, they would be insane. Like that
Yeah.
has to be the assumption, right?
Yeah.
It's like you compare it to who, and you talk about this with like basketball too. It's like Bill Russell played against plumbers or whatever. People talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
They're like,
Will
dude,
Chamberlain was
yeah.
the only guy
And
that
they're
was
like,
like
put
7 feet tall.
You put Babe Ruth in 2024, he's probably not as good. He's probably good, but it's a whole
Probably
different
good.
ball game, man. Like,
Yeah.
it changes so much.
They were smoking cigarettes in the dugout.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was, and Babe Ruth's diet was truly impeccable. If you ever want to Google that, I implore.
You ever see that video where they talk about Babe Ruth's diet?
I don't think so. I can imagine
You can't
though.
have a cup of whiskey at 9 a.m.
Babe Ruth would average a fifth of whiskey every day, by the way. So, if you want to be the best hitter ever, average a fifth of whiskey.
Yeah.
So to that point, no, it's not. So to that point, though, I mean, Babe Ruth most likely is not going to perform at the clip that he did in his generation. But then again, you look at Barry Bonds, for example. Barry Bonds also the best hitter of all time in my eyes.
Yeah.
Do you have a differentiation of opinion on that?
No. I do think that he's the best hitter for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Now, data analytics, the Moneyball theory, right? The data that has gone into building the game today. You look at many organizations and they have complete data analytics departments
Yeah.
in how they structure their team. Not the White Sox. The White Sox, by the way, we have done more data analytics in this trip and this weekend than the White Sox have ever done. And I will say that on this podcast today. But how has that changed the game in your eyes and the leverage of data that you use to help train guys up? Is that something that's, in your mind, something you gather from the teams before you start training guys? How does that work?
You talking about like if an MLB guy comes in?
Yes.
Oh, some organizations are more involved than others.
Okay.
Like one player we must have had 20 of the people from that organization on his like meeting day.
Really?
Yeah, all hop in a Zoom room, all talk about it, all be on the same page because ultimately this is the thing, what the player wants.
Okay.
If the player believes that's gonna be what makes him better, I don't like then as I think a good organization would be all in with that player, and they would be like just trying to see it, make sure it aligns with what they want, make sure that it's not like because some people may think it'll be like out of left field or something, but once you're around it and you hear us walk through like an athlete's assessment, you start to realize that like it's nothing crazy. Like we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just able to see things and break them down and bring it back to like something that every hitter and every person should be able to understand. So
Okay.
I think it's like super complex for the for like the like going over it part like with us, but then when we present it, it's very base level and everybody gets it and they're like, oh yeah, they're like that totally makes sense. And you even hit hitters on the spot, they're like, I feel that all the time. They're like, I wonder why that happens. And it's like, it's just most of the time, it's something clicks like that.
So that data helps you provide the solutions to a lot of these guys' problems.
Yeah,
essentially.
it's just a shortcut.
So as far as what you guys do on a day in and day out, what has been the most just gratifying experience you've had coaching and building guys up? Have you taken a guy from, striking out all the time to the next level, and how does that process look and work for you?
That's why I left behind my other job.
Yeah.
is that, man?
Nuclear engineer, by the way.
Yeah, genius.
No, I'm really not. Just work hard, but
Yeah.
I'm really not that smart. But no, yeah, that's the most fulfilling part for sure.
Okay.
Like I had one college guy, Kellen Bourne. He was from Canada.
Okay.
And he came through, and he had tons of bat speed,
Okay.
tons. Like would swing at 80 miles an hour, right? And for people that don't know, that's even good for like major league.
Well, you said what, 70 is like the North
70,
Star?
Well, yeah, 70 you can hit it 100. The MLB average is like 72 point, I think 1 or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so he comes in and man, he couldn't hit the ball in the air. He couldn't hit it consistently. He wasn't a starter. He was only looked at as a pitcher for his college.
Okay.
Dedicated a whole summer to training, and the guy's got like 4 jacks now. He's got like of his OPS is 1,000 plus. Like he's crushing it, and he's the starter.
Really?
And stuff like that. Yeah, that's what gets you fired up as a coach, and even sometimes emotional because guys like when they come here, they're coming from all over the world, and like it's not cheap to get plane tickets, hotels, stuff like that, and so you just makes you want to give everybody your best when they walk through the door, and then to see it work for them because it doesn't always work.
Right.
If anybody says their stuff always works, they're lying, and it's like you do the best you can, and when you see it pan out,
Yeah.
it's the coolest thing ever, and so I've had situations where guys come in and they're trying to break through the starting role, and then you see a guy like, Kyle Fossum, he plays for Youngstown State. Um, he just broke his school's home run record and probably has a shot at getting drafted now. And that's after spending an entire summer up in Washington.
So that's at the Driveline facility. in
That's at the one in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then you see another one is like I worked with a guy who he was in AA, and then he came and trained with me remotely for a couple months, and then was in gym for a few, and then after he did really good in spring training, he gets done up AAA. He's with that team, and then now he's in the bigs. So and that's not me, that's him. I've been with guys through it and seen like how these adjustments can help guys. Because he came in and he told me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm slugging this other stuff well. He goes, I'm just kind of having trouble with the fastball at the top. He's like, people keep beating me with that.
Okay.
And so we look at his stuff, and sure enough, because he's getting some early side bend and he's not separating just quite enough. And we just attacked that for 4 months, and he's able to cover that now, and it made a difference.
That's incredibly insightful, but not only that, but like for you, that has to really just be why you do it.
Yeah.
I
No
could
doubt.
imagine.
Proof's in the pudding, right? Like that's essentially, it's like clearly something's working.
Yeah.
I'm interested about launch angle. Like that's what
Okay.
people talk about all the time. Like I am a huge fan of a like slap hitter, like 350 no home runs. I love that guy. Like when the White Sox got Nick Madrigal, I was like, this guy's the best. He's never gonna hit a home run. He hit one, and I was like, this is the best. This is the best guy I've ever seen. But launch angle is what everybody talks about. Obviously, it's like get the ball up and get it out. That's the idea. Do you subscribe to that idea? Like, you're looking for hit speed, and where are you hitting the ball ideally, or is it just like make contact and put it somewhere where people aren't?
To me, it's totally dependent on the player.
Sure.
So yeah, if it's a guy that doesn't have a ton of power, then you're gonna want to optimize the shortest parts of the field.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna want to stay lower. Like you're gonna want to hit the ball lower. I don't really use the word launch angle a
Yeah.
ton here, to be honest.
That's
it's
good,
it-
yeah.
it's a result of the guy's swing, and I mean we talk about like the pull side,
Mhm.
and I mean, we do look at it. Obviously, it's a big deal because you want a guy to be able to pull the ball at good launch angles, and that's just benefiting this type of hitter that you love.
Yeah,
So
right.
your little slap guy,
That's
like
my guy,
the
dude.
only way that dude's gonna hit 10 to 15 is if he pulls it in the air.
True. Yeah.
Now you don't want him trying to hit it in the air all the time because he's not gonna get out to the biggest parts
Yeah.
more often than not. So it's truly just a holistic approach based off the guy.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's interesting.
I do always want him to hit the ball hard.
100%. I mean,
Hit
if
the ball hard, hit it
you
often.
could walk up to the plate and hit a home run every time.
Yeah.
Best case
Hit,
scenario.
hit, hit it where they ain't, right?
You got to be realistic about that. That's I mean, again, like a 5. Like honestly, your build.
Yeah.
Like a dude that just goes up there and hits the ball, like probably plays second base. Like that's my
Yeah.
dude all day. So
Yeah, like like I said, I love like guys like Altuve,
Yeah.
Pedroia,
Yep.
Whit Merrifield. Like those are all hitters that like when I was like, oh,
yeah,
they can do it.
Whit Merrifield's a killer. That
Whit
guy.
Merrifield may be
Got rocks.
one of the most criminally underrated middle infielders in the game over the past decade, at least.
I love what that guy does. I love it. I do wish he had more bat speed, and I wish he would come and work on that with us. But
There you go. You hear that, Whit?
When we were watching baseball, does that happen to you where you're like, oh, you should be doing that? Like, do you get that at all? Where you're just like, maybe if he adjusts a little bit here, like that'll help him or not?
I mean, yeah, I obviously have my opinions on stuff, but like each guy has his own swing, and they figure it out and they think of it in their own way, and I truthfully don't care. Like if they're having success and they're all right with where they're at, then like that's fine. But I never judge a guy for how he thinks about hitting. Ever. They could say, I don't care about bat speed. I want to swing straight down. Like, all right, then do whatever. If your results are good and they're where you want them, go ahead.
Well,
but like,
and so
if you're looking at the data and you're like, oh, I never pull the ball in the air. I don't hit a lot of homers. I like lost my juice. And it's like, all right, well, maybe you want to work on some of this other stuff. But yeah, for how guys like to think about it, like, do your thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like they come in, they say, I want to improve that. You're just going to focus on that, right?
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
idea.
It's like, what do you want to get better at?
Yeah,
let's get better at it.
That rocks.
And I can show you why.
That is cool. This is like it's obviously a very unique place. This is something that wasn't the case at all in like, 80s, 90s, whatever. Like, coming in on this one, like, when you saw this initially, did you even know this was an opportunity initially, or?
See, like I was telling you guys the other day, when I played, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea about Driveline yet. I knew it was for pitching.
Yeah.
And but I did not know about the hitting until I had got done playing.
That's so Well, it's just
so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I would have known what I was doing, dude. If I would have just known about attack angle and bat speed, I could have helped myself a lot.
Sure, absolutely.
Because now I look back and I swing every once in a while just to, I guess, keep up.
Yeah, feel it.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like now I know what I'm doing wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can I come back and get a couple more AVs?
I'm definitely done playing. Barely finished above the Mendoza line when I played.
Yeah,
so
no,
we're gonna keep it that way.
I was saying this like when I was in high school. I think I hit like 180 or something like that. I'm like, this dream's over, man. I'm gonna start talking about it on the internet. That's what we ended up landing on.
You realize pretty quickly as you get older, it's like there's a specific amount of people who are capable of playing this game at the highest level possible, and unfortunately, we are not it.
Yeah.
We to Vince's point, we love it. Hitting a baseball, arguably the hardest thing to do in sports in general. We always talk about what would be easier, hitting a 3-pointer, scoring a touchdown, or hitting a home run. And hitting a home run probably is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Oh
yeah. So when you look at overall encompassing, you talk about bat speed, you talk about training these guys to be the best version of themselves. You also brought in an element of training and in the gym.
Yeah.
What directly correlates? Bottom half, of course, leg day is always key, but what are other exercises in your mind if you're talking to a young hitter that you focus on?
Yeah, there's obviously a ton of stuff in the weight room, and just making sure that you're not just kind of like lifting like super statically.
Okay.
Which by that I just mean like just like normal squats, just like conventional deadlift and stuff like that. Make sure you're doing some type of explosiveness, right? Like you're able to do certain types of like power lifting and stuff like that our strength guys take them through. Not like power lifting like this. I just mean like there's more of a focus towards like being able to produce like more force.
Okay.
But as for the certain ones, I guess I don't know exactly a ton that they do in the weight room. Yeah, but like in terms of the hitting side, I know that once they get there, there's like we have all these weighted bats. We have the bat speed trainers, which they're specifically built to be a little heavier and a little lighter, so that it's not like absurd compared to their game bat. And we encourage them to swing those faster than they're usually comfortable. Right?
Okay.
Like we don't want a guy going into the game just swinging out of control, obviously. But like in the training environment, if you push that threshold, when they get to a game and they're at their 90 to 95 or however they like to think of it, it's higher.
Okay.
Because they're like it's literally like lifting for the swing is how I think it's easy to digest that thought.
Yeah.
Right? So and then you can do that with the opposite end with stuff that's lighter.
Okay.
So like he was saying when you're on deck, some guys like to swing things heavy, some guys like to swing something lighter fast. But like when I give you a like a 20, what is it, like a 24-ounce bat.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know how light that is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that, you're swinging it almost 90,
Right.
90 miles an hour,
Yeah.
right? And so you're tricking your body into moving faster, and then your body's learning how to control that. And it's like,
Interesting.
oh, like I've trained at speeds like this.
Yes.
I can do this.
Yes,
And so
just
then,
changing the
yeah.
object, right? And so now we'll go heavier bat, drop
Oh, you
3
just
wood.
copied Barry Bonds there.
Yeah,
Change the
right,
object.
yeah, changing the object. Barry Bonds still claims at 60 years old that he could hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't know about
I believe him.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know. Yeah, he's
I'm just
once again.
just out of respect, I say I believe him.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
There is an age where you probably start to lose it, but
So, what was interesting yesterday, we got a tour of the pitching side with Grant. Shout out to Grant, by the way. And he was kind of going over the data that they pull as far as like the strength that your body is moving towards home plate, essentially. He's like, we can get the data of the power you're bringing from the ground to home plate. So do you
Okay.
guys correlate that side of the house to this side of the house and say,
yeah.
okay, this guy is averaging this clip as far as pitching goes, and then how is that data leveraged as far as training goes? I guess that's a question that kind of sticks out in my mind.
Yeah. So, like I'll walk through like a really simple one. Say he goes in the lab and say that he's not getting enough hip shoulder separation. Right? Then we program and we drill around that with like stuff that with all our drills, because we have that lab. Guess what we did? We tested the bats and we said, what do these actually do?
Yeah.
So it's like we're not using gimmicks. I guess is the thing, because you see new training stuff come out all the time. We've pretty much had the same bats the entire time that we've done hitting. Like they haven't changed, and that's for a reason. It's because it's like this works. We've proven that it works. We've studied it. So like going back to my analogy of like the guy not having enough hip shoulder, just give him a long bat. That's like a simple thing, and we know that bat, which is 37 inches, 37 ounces, it's a really big bat. But like that automatically just like makes hitters, they have to sequence better, or otherwise the result won't be good, right? So then you go coach them, and it's not just having the bat, right? It's like you can still have a guy just go out there and swing that bat terribly, but if you go out there and you coach them up with the right intent, that bat is going to help them achieve a mechanical change that you want to see. And so, like the tools are our weapons, I guess, and then the environment. That's all that put together is how we like elicit change. And we try to do it as game-like as possible so that it actually transfers. Because if you're just sitting there in flips and you're telling a guy, "Hey, do this," or just hitting off a tee, that could be good to start, but that's really hard to transfer to the game. So we do it with like high velocity smash balls. We obviously have tons of machines you saw.
Yes.
We can simulate 90 mile an hour right down the middle with iPitch or eHack. We have tons of those. And then we have the Trajekt here in Arizona. And so once you want to get to the most game like scenario, it's like, hey, every week, let's see if it's working.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like if you don't think training bat speed works, all right, well, you're gonna find out twice a week because you're facing a pitcher. Right? So that's kind of how we go about it.
Obviously, like hitting's a mental thing too, for
Yeah.
sure. Like I'm assuming, and depends on the person, but like I'm assuming the data at least helps them say like we can prove that this is what you're doing instead
Yeah.
of like assuming based on like, oh, maybe I'm dropping my shoulder too much, like I got to stop doing that. It's like we can prove it to you right now.
Exactly.
Again, obviously pitchers are amazing. Everybody's like throwing 100 at this point. Like how do you, like, at least from the mental side, if you don't know what they're going to throw, like what is the mindset of a hitter when you're going up there and being like, hey, I can either get like an 80 mile per hour changeup right now, or he can go 102 at my face. Like, how do you kind of like, if someone's worried about that, I guess, like how do you kind of help them with that process?
Yeah. So you're talking about just like MLB guys?
Yeah. Well, yeah, or anything, honestly. It's just like, I know like going up there, you're like, I don't know what this guy's going to throw me right now, and I'm kind of messed up about it. Like
Like
you're already
you're
losing.
sitting everything at once.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. There's a million different, like, I think, mentalities that guys could have. You meet some guys that they don't want to talk about anything.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to you about data. They don't want to know what the guy has, and that's far and few between. That I think the higher up in levels you get, obviously.
Sure.
But like you can go from very simple to knowing exactly what his pitches do.
Yeah.
Because we provide advanced scouting stuff for the big leaguers.
That's sweet.
So, like, say a guy has 4 pitches, but he throws one to lefties 5% of the time. All right, well, just rule that one out. And if he gets you out on that one, so be it. So I'd say the overall answer to your question is build an approach you like and stick to it.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Well, yeah, because it's like, you can't change your mind 3 times in an at bat. You already
Don't do
lost
it.
it.
Yeah, don't do it. Like I remember I did a deep dive on a guy and he didn't hit the inner third well.
Okay.
Right? And so he's like, for that guy, it's like, you can simplify it however you want, but like you could have a go zone, a no go zone.
Yeah.
You could think simple, like I'm gonna sit outer half. Anything that I see well in the outer half, I'm gonna try and drive in that like left center gap
Yeah.
if you're lefty, and then you're gonna react in. Or if a guy has like a really good cut fastball, he's like cutter, slider, and he's got like say he's got like a change, right? Like like 2 of those pitches are coming in towards you as a
Yeah.
lefty. So where do you want to sit?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like just choose where you're going to have your approach and stick to it.
And then if you get it, turn on it. Essentially,
Yeah.
is the idea.
And then as a hitter, I think you need to take your wins. Like a win is sticking to an approach.
Yeah.
Like say the guy got you out on the pitch, he throws 5% of the time.
Yeah.
But you stuck to your approach, right? Like if you can take those little wins over the course of a season, I think that's how you have a great season.
Yeah.
If every time that you stick to an approach and it doesn't quite go your way and then you freak out and change it, you're probably gonna have a worse season than not,
Yeah.
right? Like you hit a ball hard, but you got out. You won. You took good swings and you just missed it. You won.
Yeah.
If you're off time and stuff like that, that's where hitters start to get really frustrated. Like I'm off time, I'm missing my pitch I should hit frequently. Those things are when it's like, okay, let's really see what's going on here and maybe make a change.
Yeah. Let's figure out the why to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you hear that one a lot too. It's like it's not necessarily the results. It's like what you put into getting. Like, you can hit a line drive to the shortstop 4 times, that might happen, and then the 5th time you're gonna get it over his head. Like you
Yeah.
gotta worry more about that. It's just hitting is baseball is a delicate sport. Like,
It
it's a
is.
game of inches. Like 2% of something could change everything that you're doing in your entire career. It's the idea.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the analytics thing is like,
And you have expected stats.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know
Oh, yeah.
too much about expected
Yeah.
stats. Yeah. So like basically, like he just said, you can do everything right and lose. So like, say Babe Ruth lines out the center fielder at 105 miles an hour. He's out, right?
Right.
Average would show that he lost. On base percentage would show that he lost. OPS would show that he lost. Slugging would show that he lost. I could keep going on here.
Okay.
Right? But like expected like WOBA, like ex WOBA.
What's WOBA?
So that's weighted on base average. Right?
Okay.
So this starts to say, bringing in like the StatCast era, it's like, okay, this guy murdered a ball at the right launch, and this typically would be a hit, or this brought value, right?
Sure.
And that's all based off how things have performed in past seasons and in the MLB. And so, you hit a ball hard and a guy makes a great play, you're going to get rewarded for that with an expected stat. And so then major league clubs are like, oh, well, this guy had like a good year, but he hit it hard right at a lot of people. Next year, if it just falls his way a little more, that's an all-star season. So expected stats kind of change the game in that aspect.
Okay. That's very interesting and how you guys look at the game. Now, something that's come up in my mind as we're talking, what is the average of players coming to you individually for support and help, and then organizations coming to you as a business to say, we want this guy or these guys to train at your facility for specific issues? Is
Yeah.
that something that occurs, or is it more player coming to you as an organization to train up?
I'd say it's more player right
Okay.
now, but we've definitely had instances where we have good connections with organizations, and they're able to send guys our way. I mean I've even seen that sometimes with even some college guys. I
Okay.
remember, I had one guy come in and his team was like, "Hey, we don't want you to play summer ball. Like you had enough at bats. We want you to go work on your swing. And that's where we want you to
Hmm.
go." And then really cool opportunity. Oh, no way, I'm gonna forget their names. No way, I just forgot it. Anyway, I forgot the whole team name, but the Dragons. They're a team in the CPBL.
Okay.
So that's a Taiwanese club, and
Interesting.
they basically came down with like half of their roster, like their offense.
Really?
Brought a ton of guys, and so like that was a team effort. Like their GM came, the hitting coach, their man, like they all came, and they learned. They learned. They were here for like I think 4 weeks. Everyone sat in on the meetings, presented in front of like 20 of them, and like so that's a scenario where
Yeah.
like an organization brings their players in to learn and get better.
That's incredibly interesting. So, with that, then, you talk about guys coming over from all portions of the world. We look at, the outcome of baseball right now globally. You look at Japan, you look at Korea, you look at what is the difference of these guys? Because we see so many of them being plucked. I mean, Shohei, of course, comes to mind, but even before that, you look at Ichiro
Yeah.
and guys like that who are really changing the game and have changed the game forever. I mean, is there a difference that you see training these guys who come from different areas of the world and their approach? Is
Oh
that
yeah.
something
Oh yeah.
that sticks out?
Oh yeah.
What would you say is the biggest difference?
It does. It just seems like everywhere they kind of have their own flair, when it comes
Okay.
to hitting. Like for instance, usually like more Latin players, they
They chase.
yeah, well yeah, okay, maybe, yeah, just have certain flares, different kind of like I guess thoughts about the swing, and I think that can change a lot. But like the just if you bring in like a group of that versus people from like you said, like either Japan or somewhere like that, it'll be sometimes more traditional kind of hitting, like really stay inside the ball. You don't rotate a lot, like really be linear through the ball. And it's just like when I trained that entire group, I saw a lot of similarities in their swings. um, Stuff that you wouldn't normally, I guess, see consistently throughout like a major league roster. Like you might see one guy on a major league roster swing, you know, more like Tony Gwynn, and then you might see a guy who likes to think about it just swinging out of his shoes, or like you just see the whole spectrum. I feel like, but I'd say like just I'd say each culture just kind of has um, their different kind of flares that they like to put into hitting, but it's not always one for one. But there is a little bit that comes from each, and it was cool. I asked them too.
Yeah.
Like when I had those groups, and I was like, "You guys teach me some. Like, what do you got here?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Show you guys been doing this. You're show me something.
So you learn a lot from the people that you train overall.
Yeah, I try to, and a lot of times they're here to learn from me, but I encourage them to tell me all their stuff, because if I can learn one thing that I like from them, and then I use that with the hitter one day, to me it's all the same.
Fascinating. Love it. Vince, any questions sticking
I
out?
actually World Baseball Classic was
Okay.
awesome. I loved watching that. Japan obviously beats the U.S. Shohei versus Mike Trout was the whole thing.
Coolest thing I was watching.
But dude, and this is more of just like a mental thing for me, but like I want, like it's cool to see baseball like around the world. It's like the World Cup, you know what I'm saying? And like it's cool when like the Cuban team's amazing and Japan's beating America at this point. It's like that kind of fuels American baseball, because like American baseball is the standard. The standard is the standard. It's American, and then other places are just beating us in it. Do you agree that that's a good thing in my head?
Yeah,
And
I
so like, we
love
should
it.
be like
I love
people
it.
should come in here and try to take some turf from us.
Yeah, I love it. I think the game's growing, and
Yeah.
I think base. I mean, I don't think I have to say it, but I've loved baseball.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I like all of it. Bring on the competition from everywhere, and the cream just should rise to the top all the
Always.
time.
Yeah. I mean, especially in that, like again,
Yeah.
you fail 7 times out of 10, and you're one of the best hitters in the league. So
Yeah.
like some of these dudes, it's just like again, like the Cubs obviously have like a ton of Japanese guys on their team.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers doing it too. It's like that something's clearly working.
Oh yeah.
And it's like keep applying it because it's making everybody better. That's the idea.
I think, like when we were talking about kind of the data and analytics side of it, that's where organizations that have lower they have lower payrolls.
Yeah.
Like you have to develop a guy.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of money to go buy them. You need to go find somebody and then maybe find something in a report somewhere
Yeah.
that's like, oh shit, this guy could be producing at a much higher level. Maybe you see those expected stats and then it's like, this guy makes a lot of contact, but he doesn't really swing very fast. Train it
We
in the
can fix
offseason.
that.
Like
Yeah,
we can develop that. And so I think the teams that you see always like really make waves in the game, they're really good at developing their talent that they
Well,
do have.
that's the Cleveland thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like they don't have a high payroll, but they're always competitive. Out of
Shout out
nowhere.
Connor Watson.
There you go. Let's go. Yeah, but it's like I mean we're obviously like we intimately know that because the White Sox are in the same division as them. But like every single year, it's like who is this guy? Where did he come from? And all of a sudden, dude's hitting like 300 with like a couple pops in the first like 2 months of the season. You're like,
Yeah.
this is. I think it's a valuable resource, and it's clearly becoming more. Like we talked about Statcast, like I'll go on that website and just like read stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what like WB4572 like something like that. It's like
Yeah.
clearly it has something, and like, expected stats too is like something I'm becoming more interested in. But like I think the fan is more intelligent than they've been in the past too.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I think I don't know if that's always good.
No, dude. Well, because then everybody's right. It's the
Yeah,
same thing with the
everybody-
umpire
yeah.
thing. It's like, yeah,
Everybody's an expert.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You see his weighted run created plus the other day. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
come on,
dude,
man.
No, there's so much respect for the guys playing it, and to me, I think like the best way that like you integrate like data and like not losing baseball.
Yeah.
Like, man, when you're out there, you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Like you have an approach, you have a reason you did it. You have intentional work, and it's based off stuff that you want to chase as an organization. But when you step on the line, you just go kick someone in the fucking.
Yeah, it's mono y mono.
There's
Yeah.
nothing else to do. Like we're not talking about that stuff. We're playing baseball.
Well,
right?
you work on it all before, so when you walk up there, it's just me against you. That's
Yeah.
the idea. Yeah, simplify the mind.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This has been outstanding. We can't thank you enough, Elijah, even though they call you Boyer.
Yeah.
First time I meet this guy, everybody's calling him Boyer. I'm like, oh, what's up, Boyer? And then I realized his name's Elijah. So,
Yeah.
we appreciate you so much for taking the time and welcoming us this week. It's been so fascinating to do this, and we're incredibly grateful. So thank you.
I appreciate you guys dropping by. It's been fun, and I think you guys are doing a good thing, and excited to see where it all goes for everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been doing this for over 3-4 years now, and we're continuing this process and growing, and we're grateful that we can be aligned with an organization like Driveline and showcase what you guys do on a national scale, and we hope to continue to do this with you guys more. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
Anything you want to plug? Any initiatives? Anything that you want to talk about?
I guess just like I remember the only thing I'll plug is when I was playing, like I worked really hard. But man, I didn't work hard in the right way. Like I don't know if that technically is a thing because I think right. That's really simple to say, and I just for those guys out there that are struggling with their swing and that really want to like have a chance to play college baseball, which is hard to do, right? For those guys, just like to make sure that you're not wasting your time. That's the biggest thing. It's just like you don't have a lot of time to play this game. If you really want to go and play college ball, just make sure you're getting taken care of. And we have tons of free stuff out there on our website where you can learn. Even just going and buying a blast sensor, it's like $100. Buy that. Go read all our free stuff. Listen to our podcast. We even post the swing designs, like the one-on-ones that I do with like with the major league guys, right? Like just you can listen through that, start to learn some stuff. Like don't do what I did and not go learn that. Like there's tons of info out there. So and if you really want to get serious about it, come sign up and train with us this summer.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely promote the heck out of that. So you guys operate a podcast as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here. I mean,
Yeah.
literally right here.
Literally
Yeah.
where we're sitting.
Yeah,
We love it.
we have a podcast as well that we do.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to collaborate on that in the future. We'd love it.
No doubt.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Elijah, we thank you so much for joining us today, and this has been a tremendous experience this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Cool.